Mm. Welcome to the upper room, Io McClinney. How are you?
I am excited and full of energy. So let's get going.
Let's get going. So, what are you excited about?
I am just excited to be able to sit with you, Eugene. You've always been one of my favorite practitioners and sort of sparring partner. I hope we're going to have lots of giggles. And I know at the end, I'm going to find that you've helped me uncover a pearl of wisdom that I didn't even know I had.
Hmm. Hmm. Well, then let's just jump right into this thing, right? So, a lot of times, I ask the question, or I start this off by saying there seems to be a whole bunch of strife going on in life and stress and all of that. And one of my guests in the past said, Eugene, stress and strife has always been a part of the human experience, right? Because the question was, so where do you think that stems from? But I don't think we need to go there because I don't think it matters where it stems from. The fact is that we are here, right? And so what I like to talk about is how do we navigate with all this going on? How do we navigate through this thing called life? And I love what you said before we went on about life. But what are some of the spiritual principles, the tools, the technologies, the whatever that you use to help you to navigate through this thing called life?
Wow. Again, small question. So, what I said earlier is that I believe the word life is synonymous with that indwelling spirit, that unspoken life force, that energy. Sometimes I refer to it as just life. And so, from that respect, all that goes into what I, as a human being, believe is life is just that it's sacred. So when I think of joy and pain, I think, those are my perceptions of things and they are there for me to learn. I think that the reason I was born is to uncover who I am and then to expose the world to that.
Mm,
And as I think that for myself, I think that for everyone, for everyone. What, Eugene, I think makes it a little bit complicated is this power we have, where we as individual human beings, or I as Ayodele, have the power of choice. And sometimes the power of choice takes me in a direction that when I look back on, I'm delighted, or when I look back on, I'm somewhat horrified by what I have chosen to do.
right.
And so, knowing that I have that power, I decided a long time ago, and a long time ago is when I was a little kid. I've been pretty much like this to understand me. And the best way to do that is to explore, explore through physical human experiences, explore through prayer, explore through therapy, explore through all kinds of avenues, any avenues, art, dance, all avenues that are available. And so to me, all of those avenues, if you will, are tools. They are tools. Now, in my lifetime, there have been some tools that have become very much used by everyone. And the first one is the internet. You know, the tool used to be the telephone. We could pick up the telephone and talk to anybody anywhere in the world. Now, with the internet, I can hear anything, be exposed to anything at any time during the day. There's never a break. So, once I began to experience the challenges that come from the choice of being exposed to the internet all day, I decided to go back to an old fashioned technology, one of unplugging, literally, physically unplugging, and then making a conscious decision as to what I allow the internet to bring into my presence. What do you think about that?
I think number one, thank you for bringing up what, as you referred to it, the power of choice, and as you've heard me say before, the gift of choice, um,
Mm,
which is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful power, a beautiful gift, and and one of the things I like to say about that thing called choice is, you've heard the saying that we always have choice, we always have choice, but that's not true. That's not true. We don't have a choice. You're gonna love this. We don't have a choice whether or not to create.
Ah, no, but our choice is in whether we create consciously or not.
That's that's where it is. That's where the power is,
Yeah.
right? That's where the magic is. Because we are always creating, right? We are always creating experiences and
Mhm.
situations that we go through, right? And
Yeah.
here it is like most people, well, anyway, most people do that on an unconscious, level, and then wonder why they're still going through the same things, right?
I'm
And go ahead.
I unconsciously create most of the time. I would not want to give anybody the impression that I'm moving through life and as I walk down the path, daisies are popping up and money trees are dropping and princes and princesses and darling children are all around me. Heck no.
Heck no.
Heck no. But I tell you what, when I look
What?
around, there are times when I see all the trampled on lilies and I see all the half eaten pizza pies, and I say, it was fun when I did it, but now I've learned.
Right.
I've learned don't trample the lilies. Just step to the side a little bit.
Yeah.
Don't eat 6 pizza pies just because somebody gave them to you for free.
Right.
Have a slice. I learned to modulate my, what is it that I want to say? Ah, I'll just call it what it is, self control.
Oh, that.
That.
Which is broken down for me to one word, which is also that. Discipline. That's self-control. Is discipline.
Discipline. Yeah.
Ooh, discipline in let me be aware of the choices that I make.
Mm-hmm.
You've heard this saying, right? Where be careful of what you ask for. And I say, why? Because they say, because you're going to get it, right?
You're
Well,
right.
if that's the case, and that is the case, I'm gonna get it at some point. Then let me not be careful. Let me be aware. Let me be aware of what I ask for. But again, that calls for us to be conscious of what we're thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm looking down, not because I don't want to look at you, but because I have to look up the word discipline.
Ah, okay. Which
I'll
is
look.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
Because and as you're doing that, and growing up, I used to hear, parents say, even and when I was a child, and then even when I became a parent, you got to discipline your kids, right? And for me, when I was a child, what that meant in my mind was to be spanked or punished.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and the punishment could be spanking, or you go to your room or whatever. But discipline is so much more than that.
It is.
So much more than that. I've been a black belt in the martial arts for years. I
Mm-hmm.
think I got my ninth degree black belt back in '95, right? So I've
Wow.
been in the art since the '70s, and that's a discipline.
Yeah.
To discipline myself to be at class every single day, or to discipline ourselves to go. Speaking of class, going through all of the classes to then get into practitioners, training.
Mm,
That's a discipline. Yeah.
yeah.
What did you find?
Well, I found a lot of things, but I'm going to pull out these words pattern of behavior.
Ooh. Ooh, let's pause on that one.
Yeah.
Pattern of behavior. We'll come back to that one. And
Well, wait a minute. Why are we gonna kind of leave that?
oh
Isn't
no,
that about the human experience? We
yeah,
are patterns of behaviors as individuals, as groups, crowds, as countries, as language speakers, you name it,
yeah,
as travelers. We are patterns of behavior. So when we step back and we think about the world today and what's happening in the world today, there are patterns of behavior.
yeah,
And sometimes the patterns don't appear to be the same. And that may be because of who's doing them, how they're going about doing them, but they are. And I personally think, and then I'm going to give you an opportunity to say a few things. I think our patterns are being in love and trying to find the love that we don't think we have. I think it's all about love.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Patterns of behavior. And that phrase being in love and then trying to find the love that we truly are, because you're right, it is all about love. That phrase, to fall in love. Well, somebody said if you can fall in love, you can fall out of love. Yeah, but we're talking about a bigger love, that love that has created all that there is, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Pattern. So to discipline, to discipline ourselves, pattern of behavior, to discipline ourselves, to choose to discipline ourselves to be the appearance of love. I think is something that the world is really hungering for. I believe that the world is is starving, is famished for love.
And I know that there is lots of love there. And
Yes,
I know that there are people who are standing in their version of love.
right.
And so to me, the key, my responsibility in this world is to be one of those lights, but also to recognize those lights and to
Yes,
recognize the fact that those lights are so bright that there really is no darkness, no
right.
matter what I think about what I see. And that is the hard part of living these principles of science of mind, because as a human being, I believe everything I see in terms of me, in terms of my lifespan, in terms of how comfortable or uncomfortable I am with what it is that I see
Yeah,
as the human being, as opposed to the soul's seeing, which is eternal.
yeah, yeah. I heard it said just recently that we are spiritual beings, and this human incarnation is for the fulfillment of our soul.
Mm, mm.
Right,
Say that
right.
again.
We are spiritual beings, and this human incarnation is for the fulfillment of our soul. So we use this humanness to fulfill to fulfill the soul's purpose as spirit for being here.
Wow. Okay.
Right,
My
right.
head is
So
spinning.
so it's like, okay, and it's really a simple thing when I get rid of all of the other crazy thoughts that I have, is to say, wait a minute, simply I am here to love. Now people may tune into this and go, yeah, but that love, yeah, but but we're talking about a deeper love.
We are. And I think it has to start with me.
Oh, Most definitely.
It's got to be an inside out job. So, in the document that I sent to you, when was saying who I am in the world, I wrote, which really surprised me, I wrote, I am a beneficial presence in the world. That's some tall talk, isn't it? That is
Yeah.
tall talk. So that means that even when I'm in traffic and I'm yelling, I am a beneficial presence in the world. And if I can't believe it about myself in that moment, I can never believe it about anybody else in their best moment.
Right.
So
Yeah.
having that love for myself is the only way I can see forward to having this agape love
Yeah.
for anyone, past, present, or future. I'm one of those people that believes that the human beings that we are pass on our experiences in DNA. I believe that. And I don't need anybody to scientifically tell me I'm right or wrong. That's okay. This is a belief. It's up
Right.
here.
Right. Right.
So in this day and time, I am able to have a pathway that brings me to know these truths about myself, about me as a beneficial presence in the world, because those who came before me, my ancestors, through their strength, knew that of themselves and they passed it along.
Yeah.
And all I did was just pop up the cute little baby that I was. And it just poured into me. And I chose to accept it. And I think that's been the hardest journey. And it's a journey that I will forever be on, because every time I open myself up to just a little piece, boom, things open up. And I'm like, all of that is mine? I am all of that? I don't know. It's much.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's, yeah, because it is huge. It's amazing how powerful we as quote unquote human beings really are. Right? It is amazing. I am all of that. And all of that can be scary if I choose to look at it like that. Going back to that gift and that power of choice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I have to admit, I was just going through some stuff just over the last week, within the last week, where I was just down on me, right? Man, that was a stupid thing to do, and you should have done this, and you could have been that. And I'm like, and then I was speaking with a good friend of mine this morning. I love the people that I know, you being one of them, right? That reminded me, right? Wait, don't you remember who you are? You know? So and it was a beautiful telephone call early this morning. And I'm like, oh man, thank you so much. He didn't have any clue, the importance of that call, because I had allowed myself I began to hide that light, because I think many of us who are here to shine our lights, and I think that's all of us, that light gets, as you said, it's a bit much. It's a bit much. So let me turn mine down based on whatever my thought was in being judged. Well, people are going to think this about me or think that about me. I'm like, but in me thinking that has me turn my light down, and then I want to hide. And that hurts. To hide, for me, to hide hurts. Everything starts to go awry.
Yeah, yeah. Because it, desire is a strong thing.
It's a beautiful thing, yeah.
And so the essence, within you, is there, it's like the propellant.
Yeah.
So when you try to hide, it's like pushing out and you're trying to be small and it's pushing out. That is tiring.
Oh
Just
man.
just go with it.
Just go with it.
Just
You
go
know?
with it. You know, you set the vision and then off you go.
Yeah.
Sometimes though, the vision we say we're setting isn't the one we set. Now that's a whole nother side of conversation.
Yeah. The vision we think we're setting is not the vision we set.
Yes.
Whoo! Whoo! I wish we had time to dive into that one.
Yes. I do
That
too.
would be that would be part two of this, right? Yeah.
All right. I like that.
Right. Um, and you're right. Desire is so very powerful. Desire is strong, and it's so much so that you can call it God, you can call it spirit, infinite intelligence, universal, whatever. Um, had a desire to express itself as you, had a desire to express itself as me, has a desire to express itself as everyone, so
Mhm.
that it may experience itself within itself as everyone in everything.
And
Desire is huge.
all at the same time.
All at the same time. All at the same time.
Mhm.
That's, if we're not in awe, we're not paying attention. If we're not in awe to who we are, as an individualized expression of the one life,
Mhm.
which is where we began this talking about life. If we're not in awe with who we are, man, we're not paying attention. We're
No.
not paying it. And I love what you said earlier, right? I have to recognize that love within me first. I have to love me first. Love me first. And how do I know when I'm not loving myself? I want to hide. That's not love.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
we probably all have that in that place that we go when fear is leading us. And so back to discipline, patterns of
yeah.
behavior, becoming aware of what I do or how I show up when I am walking behind fear. You said you get small. What I do when that happens is there's a clutter. I start pulling things into my sphere and carrying around. Literally, there was a time in my life where I would carry a bag with physical things that I put in the bag. And the bag would get heavy. I mean, I would be putting papers from work and a book here that I want to read. And one day I realized, wait a second, I'm carrying around everything that I should do. My
Mm,
shoulds were physical, and we know shoulds are fear. When-
wow.
Whenever I use the word should, I know something has gone awry in my connection to my inner self.
Let me ask you a question, Ayo. What
Mhm.
brought your awareness to, wait a minute, I'm carrying around all this stuff? What brought your awareness to that, and then what did you do about it?
Well, in all honesty, it's not that I didn't notice, but what made it so that I could not ignore the noticing was that I began to have shoulder pain. Very,
That
very,
baggage got the bag got heavy. The baggage got heavy.
the baggage got heavy, and I wasn't smart enough to let other indicators guide me. Here's an example. I started out with a small bag, just a plastic bag from the grocery store. Started out with that. Then I
Wow.
went to a backpack.
Oh,
Then I went to one of those oversized handled bags. So it's oversized and you have to carry it by the handle. So literally people who were watching me, and I know some of you might be out there now, were watching this happen. It's hard not to laugh. And so when I went for therapy, the therapist was asking, what do you carry? What do you do? Da 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 da. And I went to the car and I got my bag. And the therapist is like, do you have to carry that bag? I never thought of that.
Oh, I don't have to carry this? Yeah.
Yes. And it just took someone watching
Yeah.
to just ask the question. She had no idea that the bag was a metaphysical manifestation of other things. She just knew it wasn't a good idea to carry the bag. And it's not that I never carry a bag, because sometimes I do, but sometimes I do a double take. Wait, whoa, hold on. What's happening here? And then I start listening to the story and I hear the shoulds. And then I can make a decision.
Also, with that great gift and power of choice, if you choose to carry a bag, you also get to choose what you put into the bag.
Absolutely. Because we're all carrying bags.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Behavior. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We're all carrying. So that's a wonderful thing, right? Because we hear, I want to drop my baggage.
Mm-hmm.
But we're all carrying something.
Mm-hmm.
So let's choose to carry those things that bring us joy. Not only bring us joy, but because we're all connected, we're all one. Well, then it brings whoever comes to our conscious awareness, it brings them joy too.
Absolutely. So if you've traveled in the airport in the last few years, you'll hear these announcements that say, don't take any baggage or package from someone you don't know. But that's all we do metaphysically all day long. We pass our baggage to each other. Somebody one day threw something from across the department store and I said, I'll take it.
Mm.
We do it all day long. So
Yeah.
I think we really want to be gentler because every bag is a lesson.
Yes.
And those lessons are important. So if we just constantly go around and we are arbitrarily emptying our bag, we're not serving ourselves because we're going to repeat that. So how do we catalog? How do we sort of keep in our mind those lessons? Well, I think we have to unpack them and we have to sit with and accept the things that we like and the things that we don't like equally, because it's all energy and there is no bad, there is no good. It just is.
It just is.
And that takes courage, which is another tool. The courage to sit alone with one's thoughts and be at peace.
And ask the question, what's in your bag? Yeah. What have I been carrying around?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's so funny. I was having a conversation with somebody not too long ago, because I really believe in this power of story. And I said, wait a minute, who would I be if I didn't define myself as the little girl that couldn't dance or as the grown woman who gets lost? Who would I be in this world if those were not the stories I told myself?
Yeah.
The stories I told myself is that I love learning to dance over and over and over and over again. Because that's really what's happening when people dance. They're learning. And I think the power of story is something that we starve ourselves of.
Yeah.
And we really, really should embrace our own story because it's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
It really is. It really is. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Whew. One more question for you, Io, before you leave. It might end up to be two questions, but I'm going to start with this one. Before we leave, what do you want people to know?
Oh,
The wisdom of Io Deli McClinney. Io leaves the people with this.
you're more powerful than you'll ever believe. So step out on faith and feel your heart's desire, because the more you do that, the more the world will be a perfect place for everyone.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Whew. Io, thank you so very much for being on here in the upper room. Trying to find some music to play us out on, but that's okay. Don't need to. And I'm sure that you will be back if you choose to.
Well, I've loved it. I
Yeah.
always love, Eugene, the opportunity to just sit and think with you, think out loud, co-create.
Yeah.
And I just delight in the way spirit shows up as you, every little whisker.
Thank you very much, Io. Everybody, this has been the Upper Room. As you know, as I keep saying, the Upper Room airs on Wednesdays at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. You can catch us on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. Again, Io, thank you so very much, and we'll be sure to be seeing each other soon, I'm sure.
Bye.
Bye.